Hi fellow birdies, and welcome back to another edition of Mr. Songbird's Writing Mukbang. Hope you've been having a good May. In today's video, I'm going to do a progress report on how May has gone, as well as some challenges I face, and hopefully we'll be able to help you with some of your challenges you're facing. Now, good news, in May I managed to find ways to increase the amount I write, meaning more words per day, more words per month, more stories to write. There is, however, not a downside. I suppose it's downside in the short run, but long run it's an upside. Let me teach you a little concept first. This may seem kind of basic for a lot of you, but number one priority when writing is to, write. If you aren't writing, especially if you're not writing consistently, there's a word for, actually a word combination for those who wait for the perfect day, the perfect moment to write their perfect story, unwritten. That perfect day will never come. There's only today. And it's up to you to decide whether you want to write, today or the next day or the next day. With experience, you'll be able to write, the story that is in your mind perfect even better. Like if I were to, write, Path of Magi book 1 from start to finish right now, or do an edit round, it would be, way better than it is now. Oh, I'd say it's pretty good. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Because just like any, skill you practice, you learn, you develop, you will get better over time. As long as you're working at it. Like even if you're not, you'll still probably get better over time, just from repetition. You'll be able to do things faster, or, conversely, get more done in the same amount of time, or do better work in the same amount of time. So, number one priority as any potential author is to consistently write. If you're not doing that, you're having a very hard time. Conversely, and that said, once you've got that down, once you've mastered the art of being in there, either writing a certain amount every day, a certain number of minutes per every day, or what have you, the next thing to consider is what you are writing. I just realized I had to mention, this is pesto pasta. One of the nice things about our channel is we get plenty of leftovers that are delicious. The only change I'd make to this recipe, I'd probably double or triple the amount of pesto on it. I love, pesto saturating my pasta. And I know it may look like I have a lot now, but trust me, when I used to have pesto pasta, when I was growing up, I'd have as much pesto as there was noodle, or close to it. You probably call it a pasta pesto rather than the other way around if you wanted to. Like I was saying, it's very important to use the time you're using consistently, effectively. Whether it's writing a story that you enjoy, or that you think others will enjoy. You can determine what you think the value of that story is. And what I found was there was a project I've been working on and put a lot of effort into it. It wasn't enough value for me to continue it. I didn't enjoy it enough, and I didn't see enough of a future in it. Because it would have been at least another year of consistent, week in, week out work, with it taking up a good chunk of my time. So I just opted to, stop that, cancel that, sort of put on hiatus for the time being at least, and work on other projects. That'll mean I have more time to devote to things that are of higher value, like, for example, Path of Magi. How do you determine if a story is worth, putting your time into? First, part of it's very subjective. For some people, it's exclusively based on, will I enjoy the story? For others, it's based on, how much money will I make from it? Others, it's how much is the audience enjoying it? Like if I'm enjoying it, if my audience isn't, I don't want to write it. There is one thing on that list that isn't on that list though, and that is, will I have enough ideas? Because it's extremely difficult for an author to write faster than they have ideas for. They can have writer's block, don't get me wrong, but long term, you will have more ideas than you can possibly write in your lifetime. And a lot of those ideas will be really good ones, especially if you get more practice. So the question isn't so much, will I have enough good ideas? But which ideas am I prepared to take the time, the energy, the focus to nursemaid them from a thought in my head to something published in front of me? For example, a couple nights ago, I had, well, maybe not the greatest idea, but I had an idea that intrigued me, and so I was having a hard time sleeping, so I spent like an hour, give or take, thinking it through, like figuring like, okay, what would happen in the story? What's some possible plot twists? What are some of the themes? Knowing all the while that I'm never going to write that story. It's just not a high enough value for my time. I would enjoy it, but not that much. Conversely, like other people might enjoy it, but not that much. It's an older franchise, fan fiction. So although I enjoyed the brainstorming process, I haven't done nothing with it because I'm not going to do anything with it. This month, I think I've boosted my average words per day by roughly about 20 to 30%. I'm pretty happy with, maybe 50%. That is one thing I need to work on. I keep forgetting, or rather, I keep not tracking my writing as thoroughly as I should. I know I'm writing more and faster. I can see that. Editing more and faster too, but I'm not tracking as much, and I should be. That is something I want to work on in the near future. I need to find something that's quick and easy to do without requiring me to get on the computer or something. Because the reason is, I do most of my writing on the phone now. That touch screen is written, thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of words. Similarly, its dictation is also written, thousands upon thousands of words. What gets measured, gets managed, and I can tell the increase because of, in this case, because it's significant enough. But it's possible I could have, told it otherwise. Now, that said, all this stuff about, what to write about, none of that matters if you don't, start writing consistently first. So let me ask you this. In the comment section below, would you mind putting, how much you're writing, whether it's words, whether it's minutes, chapters, scenes, or what have you, each day? What's your habit? Because, let me tell you, if the habit's good, the rest will follow. If the habit's awful, you won't. Basically, writing is a marathon more than a sprint. And yes, I say that, even with having done NaNoWriMo. Because, simply put, NaNoWriMo is a, marathon still. It's a marathon with a bit of a shorter duration than most. Because you have 30 days from start to finish to write 50,000 words. And while there are those who can sprint that, in like the last 48 hours or 24 hours, they will just write. And, the bell will come and they'll have 50,000 words. For I'd say the majority of people doing it, probably the vast majority, they're writing as the month goes on. A habit is fine as long as it's consistent. Like, if you're doing like 5 days a week habit, or 3 days a week, or what have you, but you're sticking to that habit, you will make progress over time. One person I know, they write 5 days a week, roughly about 6,000, 8,000 words each time, very consistently, like extremely consistently. And as a result, they write a lot. Could I do something like that? Maybe. But I like to stick to the daily concept. Partially because I put a lot of energy, time, and focus into creating this hour-a-day habit. It's been what, 3.5 years since I started it, give or take. A little bit more, actually. And long story short, I want to continue doing that, habit. I got, some stuff, coming out. Like, one thing that some of you told me is that you want to see more, like, book reviews. So, I read a book, this past weekend that I'll be reviewing this shortly. I think it's actually, like, Friday. Close enough. If I were able to get the numbers down correctly, I could probably start like putting a update like how many words written in numbers. And I know I talked about that before, but to do that you need to track it properly. I'm having issues with that. Maybe if I just focused on how many words per day. Let's see. Let me go ahead and finish this. Another delicious meal. Now, I'm going to pop out for now. I'll see you folks next week. Until next time. Bye, folks.